Welcome to Legally Ponzanelli, a podcast dedicated to the real stories behind the legal profession. I'm your host, Stephanie Ponzanelli, a law graduate from the University of Arkansas School of Law. Each week, we will hear from law graduates who share candid conversations, practical advice, and real experiences that show you just how different everyone's journey into the legal profession can be. Today's episode is sponsored by two companies. First, Kaplan Bar Prep. Thanks to them, we are able to do a free bar prep giveaway. If you are interested, make sure you're following us on our social media platforms, which you can find in the link below, but they are Legally Ponzanelli and Legally Ponzanelli Podcast on Instagram. We also have a discount code that stacks with whatever sale they currently have going on, which is, in all caps, Pass with Pons. If you're going to use Kaplan, make sure you save some money. Our second sponsor is Belmonte, a skincare and lifestyle brand built around the reminder to stay still, grounded, and present. They are also linked in the show notes in the link tree. Let's get started. Oh, can you please introduce yourself?
Yes, I am Kiev Cochran. I am not related to Johnny Cochran. My dad loves to lie and say that we are, but I'm not.
That's so funny. Kind of like the Mormon wives where she thought she was related to Ben Affleck.
That that was crazy. And the way she like turned around and was like, "I never said that. What are you talking about?" And I was like, "What?"
Okay, I do want to
Same.
tell everyone, how did we meet?
Oh yeah. I was scrolling on TikTok instead of studying, of course. And I came across I saw your live and I saw like the U World questions. I was like, that looks mad familiar.
Yeah.
Um, so I clicked on I'm not a big commenter, like, I like to be in the shadows on social media. So I was just like watching for a little bit and then like you were so funny. I had to comment and that's how we started chatting.
Yes, so now we're very close and personal
Mm.
besties, and I love it. So where did you go to undergrad and what was your major?
Yeah, I went to undergrad, like, in the middle of nowhere, Northern Arizona University, and I went there because my dad was, like I wanted to go to, like, Oregon State or something like that, but my dad
Mhm.
was like my dad is a big yeller, let me preface, and he was like, "Girl, you gotta go to Arizona, California, or Ohio, nowhere else," and I was like, "Okay, I guess,"
Why
and
those
so
places
I went to NAU.
specifically?
No idea.
Oh.
I know Ohio because, like, that's where our family is from. I
Mhm.
don't I still don't really know why, but, you know, I went to NAU, I majored in criminal justice,
Ooh.
because going into college, I was like, "I want to do something about mass incarceration. I don't know what, I
Mm.
don't know how," and, I didn't at that point, like, I was like listen, I'm not stupid, but, like, I was the one of my f like, my in my high school friend group, I was not the
Mhm.
one who was going to Ivy Leagues, like, my friends were
Yeah.
I was going to a college with, like, an 80% acceptance rate, like,
Yeah, and
so,
that's okay.
I would
Those are really,
right, I
yeah, those are
like
still good.
exactly, and, like, being a lawyer was never, like, in my mindset because I never, like, realized,
Really?
like, I was smart enough to do that.
Wait,
Um
so you went into undergrad criminal justice not intending to go to law school at all?
No, I didn't know what I wanted to do. I just knew I, like, wanted to do something about the prison system, mass
Yeah.
incarceration, and, like, that was my plan. So, like, I took, obviously a lot of classes. I think I ended up getting, like a certification in, like, law and justice or something because
Oh,
of the
okay.
classes that I was taking, and
Yeah.
I really enjoyed, like, my classes, I enjoyed most of my professors, like, NAU, a small school, but, like, I think it's the smallest of all of the Arizona schools,
Oh, okay.
but it's in Flagstaff, Arizona, which is beautiful, like, you don't even realize you're in Arizona, like, it snows there, like, so
Mhm.
many mountains, it's beautiful up there.
So when did you decide you wanted to go to law school? Like, what was that like?
Yeah. So my junior year, I took a wrongful convictions class and we actually had someone who was wrongfully convicted speak to our class.
Are you
And
serious?
yeah, and he was incarcerated for 15 years for being at the wrong place at the wrong time.
Oh
And
my God.
that story was so moving to me, and,
Yeah.
I think especially as a Black woman, knowing,
Mhm.
like, I have incarcerated family members, like, and just knowing that, like, so many people are going through that, and
Yeah.
I realized, like, he talked about how bad his public defender was. He was like,
Mhm.
"My public defender didn't support me, he didn't believe in me, like, it
Mhm.
was not good," and then that's when it clicked. I was like, "I could be a public defender, and I could be
Yeah.
the change that clients are looking for." Because, I think it's, like, hard to conceptualize sometimes, like, I'm not like,
Yeah.
"Yay, crime." I mean, sometimes, but, like
Depends on the crime.
right, but the thing is, it's like, no matter if the person's innocent or guilty, they deserve representation, and, like,
Yeah.
that is what,
They deserve
this
good
country is built
representation.
on.
Yeah.
Exactly, and, like, and that's what kind of opened the door to law to me, because like, I was taking these classes obviously talking about law, but, like,
Mhm.
it never, like, conceptualized to me until,
Yeah.
like, he spoke with us, and I was like, "Whoa, that's insane," and that professor, he ran the I think that it was called the Innocence Project that's in Arizona, and so,
Oh,
like,
wow.
genuinely, I learned so much from him, and, like, that was such a cool class, and then I ended up my capstone was with a really, really cool professor as well. She did a lot
Mhm.
of tribal justice and, like, tribal law in Arizona.
Mhm.
My capstone was about, like, rehabilitative justice and,
Mhm.
like, how that, like, derives from, like, native indigenous practices. That class was also really cool, and she ended up writing my recommendation for law school. So I graduated in 2020. I
Mhm.
went back home because
Where was
I
home
was
for
gonna
you?
Hawaii. So I went back
Okay.
home, and also when COVID happened, I was terrified because they closed all the flights to Hawaii, rightfully so, but
Yeah.
I was like, "Wait, I live there. If you canceled all the flights, how am I gonna get home? I got a cat to
Yeah.
see, please."
Yeah.
Um, and siblings, I guess, but, um
It's so funny.
but but thanks. But yeah, no, I, like, was lost. I was like, "I don't know what to do after undergrad," and at that point, like, I was thinking about law school, but I wasn't, like I didn't know anyone who was in law school, like, I didn't know anyone
Yeah.
who could, like, walk me through the process of, like, what to do, when to
Yeah.
apply, whatever. So I went home and I was just, like, kind of confused. And, I
Mhm.
bought some LSAT stuff. I started studying. Um, and thankfully, actually, and like, this is a jump scare. I am in a sorority. I don't really like, I feel like I don't,
Yeah.
it
No,
doesn't
it's
seem like
okay.
I would be in a sorority. And like, everyone is like shocked whenever I say so. But it's a multicultural sorority and it's focused on education, period.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. My
but yeah,
friend was in
so
a food sorority, so I get it. They would just eat
oh,
every week a bunch of different food.
they would just eat. Wait, that's my dream.
Yeah, she loved
um,
it.
yeah, no, my sorority, it's a Latina founded sorority. I love my
Love.
baddies. I do just do what my friends do, so my friends did it, and I was like, "Alright, I'll hang out." And so there was someone who was, like, helping out with our chapter at NAU who went to one of the other Arizona schools that had, like, posted about going to law school. And
Mhm.
so I was like, "My gosh, hey, can I talk to you? Like, can we hop on a call and, like, can you explain to me what I'm supposed to do?" Because the application for law school are mad confusing. The
Mhm.
timeline is really confusing. I didn't get it.
Yeah.
Like, I was like, "When am I supposed to take the LSAT and when am I supposed to apply?" Whatever.
Yeah.
And so I was really thankful she explained it to me, and, like, I had a game plan after that, so I started
Mhm.
studying. I was working, at the elementary school at that time,
Aw.
um, living life, whatever, and,
Really
yeah.
quick for the listeners, if you don't apply by a certain time, you can't go until the next year, like the next cycle. So, like,
Mhm.
it is super important that you know when you wanna go and when you need to throw all your applications in.
Yeah, and applying earlier is better,
Yeah.
but it's not impossible to get in if you do apply, like, later in the cycle. I applied, later in the cycle, but I got it in. Um, and a really funny story about my application. So my dad, kept, like, asking me, he was like, "Oh, let me see your personal statement, let me see your personal statement." And I knew that I needed to apply and submit everything before he took a look at that because I
Yeah.
knew something nefarious was up. And so I I finish applying, I don't tell him this, I give him, my personal statement. He's making edits. Like, he has it for, like, 5 hours. And I was like, "Are you done with my laptop yet? Like, what's going on?"
You can't
And
oh,
so
no, you couldn't even email it to him. He had your full computer.
yeah. And
That's so
so
funny.
I get it back. I look at it, and he adds an entire paragraph about himself.
Okay, that's what they want on your personal statement.
Right, he goes because a lot of my personal statement, I think, was about my name because I have a unique name, and I talked about, like, the
Yeah.
struggles with that and blah, 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 whatever. Corny, but I got in, so it doesn't matter. So I get it back, and I see this paragraph, and I'm like, "What could this be?" He goes, "My name is Kaev. I got that name from my father." My father
Wait, he addresses it like he wrote it, right? Like, is that what you're saying? My name is no.
Yes. Yeah, no. And he was like, "I got that name from my father who was a drill instructor in the military." What? So I was just like, I was like, I it's like I feel like like hearing the little stories about my dad like really
Yeah.
just like really makes sense why the way that I am because imagine me already conceited having to live with someone who's even more conceited. And so it was literally I was like, this can't be true. And he like tried to be like, I'm like 1%, like in my voice. I'm 1% of the population because I'm a military child. They don't care. I don't care. But yeah, so that was fun. But yeah, so I
Did
submitted
he
my
think you
email.
submitted that?
No, I think he still does. And then when I got into law school,
He was like,
when
"I
I
knew
got
it. I got her in."
when I got into law school, like my dad posted me on Facebook, probably like for the first time I think in my life. Um, and he everyone was saying congratulations to him. Now, why the
Yeah.
hell are you congratulating that man? What did he do?
He got you in. He wrote that personal statement.
Right. He gave me the trauma to write my personal statement about. Like,
Yeah.
what?
I love that. But he got you into law school, so, like, give
Right,
credit where credit's
right,
due.
right.
I love that. That's so funny. He spent 5 hours like, "I will help her. She needs this."
Redlining, making like grammatical edits. I'm like, I don't need this. Like, I'm fine. I promise.
That is so
Um,
funny.
no, so that's my dad.
I love it. When did you apply to law school? When did you go, and where'd you go?
Yeah, so I applied, I think like February was when I got a majority of my applications in. So, and I only applied to like a handful of places.
Mhm.
And I wouldn't recommend that. I did get lucky. But I actually got into Howard University School of Law and I found out it was so silly the way I found out. So I was on
Uh-huh.
my lunch break at the elementary school, so I didn't have any kids around me. Like I was just chilling in my classroom alone. And
Mhm.
I get an email from Howard that's like, join us for admitted students day. And I was like, wait, wait, does that mean I'm admitted? Wait, wait, wait. And so it's like I'm panicking, trying to remember my login to the Howard portal. And I'm like, wait, did I get admitted to this school? Hold on. And,
Yeah.
like, when I opened it, it had, like, the little the
Ah, the
confetti, and I was like,
confetti, I love that.
yeah. No, and
Yes.
I literally screamed in my classroom, like, I'm surprised, like, security didn't come and, like, think someone was killing me. I screamed in my classroom, and then, like, I immediately ran out, and I, like, went to go find my students, and I was like, "Guys, I have a really big announcement for you." Um I just got into law school. They were ecstatic. They were so happy, and I was like, "Guys, this is the one time I'll let you guys hug me, and I know you've wanted to do it all year long." But children are sticky, and I don't get sick. So, um,
Did everyone,
it
like,
was
go
really
all
fun.
at once? Like,
Oh, yeah, no,
"Yay!"
they actually, like, had to get pulled off of me because they did tackle me. And I get it, they were excited. However, that was crazy.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, so it was like I was like, "That's insane." Like, I cannot believe, like I honestly, like, I could not believe that I got into Howard. And again, like, I think I do a lot of, like, doubting myself, whatever. But, I made my personal statement, like, based off of Howard, and then for other schools, I changed it, of course, but, like, my mentality was like, I want to learn the law from Black people because
Yeah.
I wanna go into the law that affects Black people the most, you know? So, I
Yeah.
was like, "This is the school for me," and, like,
Mhm.
Howard is, like, it's, like, where all the first Black lawyers came from, and, like, so much change has happened because of Howard, like, I was really
Mhm.
grateful to get in.
Yeah.
Now
Could you let the listeners know, like, where Howard is or just anyone who doesn't know? Can you kinda give us a
yeah,
little bit
yeah.
of background?
So,
Because I love how passionate you are.
Howard's in DC, the first historically Black university, and I believe the first law school that accepted Black people, because that's something that's I think in both
Mhm.
of our histories is like they didn't let Black people go to school, they didn't let Hispanic
Yeah.
people go to school, they didn't let women go to school. The first Black woman to become a lawyer,
Mhm.
Charlotte E. Ray, came from Howard. Um, and genuinely, like, Howard has done so much. Like, Thurgood Marshall came from Howard. Loki was I'm in the same section as Thurgood Marshall. They call us, the social engineers or whatever. Uh, but yeah, so Thurgood Marshall, the first Black Supreme Court judge, and the person who ended segregation, really, like Brown versus Board, came from Thurgood Marshall and Polly Murray. Their notes. Polly Murray is posthumatively non-binary, so I'm gonna use they them pronouns. But Polly Murray, while they were at Howard, was studying a lot about like segregation and things like that. And their notes, their research that they did in like the same halls that I went to school at
Yeah.
is what led to the success of Brown v. Board, and like obviously that's a huge, huge case. And for anyone that doesn't know, like
Yeah.
that is the case that ended segregation in schools.
Yeah.
And like, and you think about it, like it feels like that was so long ago, but people
Mm-mm.
from like the Little Rock Five are still alive today and they have Instagram. Like that's crazy. But yeah, so Howard, that I think I have a big passion for helping people
Yeah.
and I want to help as many people as I can. And I realized like for me, law was the best way to do it.
Yeah. That's so awesome.
Listen, so I love the idea of Howard. Let me let me get that clear.
Oh, perfect. Okay.
Imma spill the tea, and
Okay.
listen, I'm still so, 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 so grateful that I went
Yeah.
there. Thankfully, I had some great professors. I think at every school you have not great professors, but
Yeah.
one thing I do believe Howard needs to work on, and I've complained to administration about this, me and my friends have, because, all of my friends are, like, public interest girlies, like, that's
Yeah.
all what we wanted to do, like, I have other public defender friends. I have friends in housing. I have friends doing death penalty work. Like
Mhm.
we were the public interest baddies. Like um,
Yeah. Oh, I love that.
I actually um It was funny. I didn't know I was getting this distinction at graduation, my graduation pamphlet. But
Uh-huh.
m- me me and my me and two of my friends, we were the like only people who got like 500 plus hours of pro bono community service.
500 so much. Oh my god.
Yeah.
I
Well,
got
it was just
100 and
like,
I was like, "Period."
well, cause
That's
our
awesome.
summer internship, at the Public Defender Service of DC wasn't paid, so it's like we
Yeah.
got hella hours, and so I
Yeah.
posted, I was like, "The big 3," and my friend Stavros, who's, in New York now, he actually got, like, the highest that Howard had in, like, years too, so he got a special shout
Really?
out, and I was like, "My crew, let's go." Um,
Yeah. That's
but yeah,
really
no, so
amazing.
but
And
so back to my problem with Howard.
yes.
So again, like I just talked about, like the idea of Howard is social public interest.
Yeah.
Like in almost every class we have, there's a saying, and I think Thurgood Marshall said it, like you're either a social engineer or you're a parasite to society. I live
Oh,
by that. I'll die by that, right? Because I'm not
I
trying to be a
love
parasite.
that.
Right.
Yeah.
And so Howard, you would think, would still carry that legacy. And again, me and my friends complained to administration about this.
Mhm.
But because Howard, and I do think like a systemic issue is ranked much lower, it should be much higher, but it isn't. Um, they cater to big law a lot. And my thing is,
Mm.
if you want to go on big law, that's fine. But like,
Yeah.
I felt like a problem with Howard was like, people would post like that quote, if you're not a social engineer, then you are a parasite to society, right? But they were the parasites he was referring to, right? Like you were
Yeah.
making 100K over the summer.
Mhm.
You're the like I don't know what to say to you. Like you were the
Yeah.
parasite. I will say that that sucks so much. Like my first year of law school, so many of us who wanted to do public interest and only wanted to do public interest were left without positions, without jobs, and the school didn't help at all. Because everyone in career services was big law
Mhm.
tailored. And like in all honesty, like and this is like huge advice for anyone who wants to do public interest or any type
Yeah.
of law. Public interest and big law have completely separate, like, you need different resumes, you need different cover letters. Like, I feel like big law, you kind of have to be robotic and just like, this is what
Mhm.
I've done, blah, blah, blah. But like, my cover letter for the job I got now, the job I like, all the job offers that I've got, like, post grad, I was, like, vulnerable. At my
Yeah.
cover letter, like, I talked about being a Black woman, how I wanted to help the Black community, and now I have Black family members who are incarcerated. But, like,
Yeah.
for a big law cover letter, they would tell you to take that out, right? And it's like,
Yeah.
that's what big law is, and that's fine.
Yeah.
But Howard, because they didn't have, like, public interest people in career services, like, you would go to them, and they're like, "Oh, do this, change this." You would change it, you would apply to places, and you wouldn't get hired because you have this big law tailored application now.
Yeah.
So, and it's really frustrating, and it's something that I think so many of like the public interest focused people have
Mhm.
complaints about at Howard. And honestly, like I think it was hard for me to like be truthful about that for a really long time because, I think HBCUs are really vulnerable right now, like,
Yeah.
especially under this administration. Like, Howard, my first year, I swear to you, we got like a bomb threat every week. Like, right, like, we are not liked. And I get that. And I didn't want to be part of that like problem.
Yeah.
But I was like, I can't honestly, like if someone who wants to go to law school and wants to go to Howard comes to me, I can't pretend like it's all rainbows and butterflies because I don't want what happened to me and my friends to happen to other people because it made all of us almost lose ourselves, honestly, because Howard like tried so hard to get you to switch from public interest to big law, which is not Howard's like baseline of
Mhm.
Howard should never be that.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, like big law is what brings money and it's what gets higher rankings, whatever. So that is definitely really disheartening. HBCU, a historically Black college or university. That just means, back again when colleges didn't accept people like you or me, HBCUs were created because people wanted to be educated. And that was the only way that they can do it unless they were white passing. And so HBCUs serve a huge role and have so much history and
Hmm.
genuinely is a great experience.
Yeah.
Is I think that like Howard does have a lot to work on, but I think that's true of a lot of universities, like
Yeah.
HBCU or not.
Yeah.
But I think for myself and like for people that come after me who have similar passions, I can't pretend like that Howard was perfect anymore.
And I love that you're sharing that because it's because you care. It's not that you're like mad at them. You just wanted a better experience. And for the listeners out there, I mean, I'm so proud of you for not caving into Big Law because it can be easy. You make so much more money in Big Law,
Right.
way more
I
money.
have so much debt.
Yeah. Yeah, and so it's like it's extremely tempting, right? So I love that you really stayed true to who you were and kept
Mhm.
going with what you wanted to do in the long run. That's really awesome, especially with it being that tempting and right there and even the job searching because that can be hard. Because knowing I know some of my friends that had big law summer jobs, the amount of money they brought in just in the summers
Right.
and you did
I
it all for
know.
free, huge.
Right.
That's a huge deal.
Yeah. No, like after so many people came with like new like luxury cars after the summer, and I was like, dang, I did research for free about lead in water. Like, it's just a lot.
It's a lot, but I love that you're, like, being honest about it, and that's great for anyone who wants to go in public service and is like, "Wait, this might be a little bit harder of a challenge for me to enjoy that."
Yeah. And one thing I also, like, want people to know, like, just because you go into public interest does not mean you have to be living paycheck to paycheck. And that's something, like, professors, career service at Howard, they would
Mhm.
always say, like, "Oh," people would literally make fun of you because you wanted to go into public interest, and they'd be like, "Oh, so you, like, don't wanna make money?" And, like, first of all, why are you pocket watching a pocket I don't even have yet?
No, that's
Um,
true.
2, like, and if you talk to people in public interest, they make money. Like, I do think, like, public defenders are severely underpaid in a lot of places,
Yeah.
but you will make money and,
The
and I'm,
benefits,
like
dude.
that too. I'm a state employee right now, so I get state benefits. My insurance is great because of that, and,
Your holidays.
right, and it's like, yeah, like, down in the South, like, they're not getting paid very well, like, in all honesty, but the thing is, you'll talk to the directors and you will make your money. You will make your money. And it's like, I'm thankful and, like, privileged to be in a position where I didn't have to, like, fully focus on, like, what the money offer was. Like, obviously, it's a consideration because I do love to buy things.
No,
Um
period.
Right. But like thankfully I had like a lot more wiggle room to, really consider a pay cut. But, I'm in Seattle now and listen, the public defenders are getting paid well. Don't worry about it. But I have so much debt. Like, you have to think about that. But don't worry about it feels like privilege to say this, but like you don't always have to worry about the money. Like, I promise
Yeah.
you can find high paying public interest jobs.
Yeah.
And like obviously like public interest it is a stressful job because like you
Yeah.
have real people attached to it a lot of the time. Like I think it's very mentally taxing. There's
Mhm.
a lot of secondhand trauma because you're working with really vulnerable people that sometimes aren't living a great life, and
Yeah.
it sometimes it feels like it's your responsibility. But something
Yeah.
like I've had to remind myself a lot is I cannot force anyone to do anything.
Mm-mm.
My job is to do the best by them that I can. You have to have strong boundaries, I will say, going into
Mm-hmm.
public interest. And, that's it's really hard because you see these people and you want to help as much as you can.
Mm-hmm.
But if you burn yourself out, you're not going to help anyone. So setting your own boundaries at 5, don't look at your work phone anymore. And it's hard
Mm-hmm.
because I put TikTok on my work phone. So sometimes I be scrolling. Um,
That's
for research
hilarious.
purposes, sometimes I gotta find people, of course.
That's so funny. I mean, you kind of touched on this, but what was your law school experience like? You kind of gave a little bit of that, but what were some of the highlights? What are some things you wish were different? And
Yeah.
tell me about, like, was it cutthroat? Was it collaborative? I want to hear all about that.
Yeah, honestly, Howard, one thing that's really great about Howard is it's more of a community. I feel like
Mm.
than like what I was hearing from my other friends in law school. Like one of my close friends, he went to UVA. We graduated the same year, and he was talking about like someone deleted someone's outline when they went to the bathroom in the library, things like that.
That's insane.
Right, and there was, like, times there's, like, always a weirdo in the bunch, don't worry, but, like so there was, like, times where someone be like, "Oh, yeah, I'm applying for" girl, no one cares. But overall, like, I think it was so much more of a community.
Yeah.
Even the people that I didn't like at law school, like, we still I feel like everyone still had each other's backs. I feel like
Yeah.
that's the best way to say it. We were all there to make sure we all got to the finish line, and I don't think anyone was working against that. And I will say, like, being at a much smaller school also means a lot of drama.
Was there like a scandal?
My one
Yeah.
more year is actually my 23rd birthday, which was the worst year of my life. So traumatic thinking about it. So I'm in torts, right?
Hmm.
Torts is a 9 a.m. class for us. It's our
Yeah.
first class of the week.
Hmm.
My professor, kooky lady, comes in at least 30 minutes to an hour late every class. Like, girl, why did you
Does she
choose this
keep you
time?
late?
No, she couldn't keep us late because we had another class like right after. So, and
Okay.
Chuck's professor, love her. I almost said I love you to her once. I love that woman down. Um,
Yeah.
she she was strict as hell. So
Yeah.
there was once where the door was locked because she locks the door like you can't get in if you're late.
Yeah.
She locked the door and there was like someone knocking and she was like, they can't come in unless it's the police. Ignore them. And we're like, it is the police. I guess like a silent like alarm was going off in the classroom and he needed to get in. Hilarious. But like
Was she like, oh,
that's how
my
she was.
bad?
But yeah, no, it was like the campus police. So
It's so
she was like, "Oh
funny.
my gosh, sorry, I thought you were a late student." But yeah, my torts professor, back to her and how she almost ruins my law school career. So we were learning negligence, and my birthday's in
Hmm.
September, so we're pretty early in the school year still. And it's about to be midterms, and she's teaching us negligence in quite literally the most confusing way.
Hmm.
So she, again, is just, she's a lot. She's a lot. But
Hmm.
so she's in class and she's talking about how she's teaching us negligence based on something that happened to her on the metro. So she was taking the metro. She looks down and she sees someone's credit card and ID. So she picks it up and there was also a business card for the Church of Satan, and it was a political protest for the separation of church and state. Like one of those like,
Oh, okay,
got
okay.
your
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
attention, right.
Yeah.
But she was like, "Oh my God, what the heck? Like I can't touch this." So she goes and turns it in to the like in the metros, there's usually like a box where like a guy is
Mhm.
sitting and like scrolling on his phone, probably, but they work there. So she went to go turn it into him, whatever, and she was like, well, I just felt so guilty because normally what I do if I find someone's ID, like I'll ship it to their address. First of all, every ID tells you not to do that. So wrong. Anyway, and two, like, and then she was like, and I could have written her a letter to save her soul. Like it was my duty to save her soul. And
For separation
I
of
was like,
church and state?
I
What do
was
you
like,
mean?
we're learning negligence based on assumption of facts. And I was like, it was so crazy because like I kid you not, we were like 2 weeks deep into this same analysis of negligence, her having a duty and her being the proximate cause of this random girl going to hell. And
That's
so
insane. I would be like, "Girl, pick something
'cause
else." Like
we're not learning anything, and, like, genuinely, so while this whole thing was going on, everyone was confused and everyone was uncomfortable.
Mhm,
So it's the 3rd or 4th class of her teaching negligence. No one understands. It's a horrible example, first off. Second off,
mhm,
like, she tells us all the time, like, "Don't assume facts." It makes it confusing. She's assuming all the facts in the world because she doesn't know this girl.
yeah.
And so it's getting, like, late in the class, and someone raises their hand with says, "What if when you wrote that letter to that girl, it made her kill herself?" I was like, "What are we talking about right now?" Like, we're all so confused.
What did she say? I have to know.
I honestly, I don't know what she said to that, but because I kinda, like, blacked out in this moment, I rose my hand. I waited to be called on, and I said, almost word for word, "I don't wanna speak for anyone else, but I feel like this example is getting a little uncomfortable and a little confusing as well. And I just think that there's so many people of different religious backgrounds in here. It's really uncomfortable to be
Mhm,
speaking about this. And it's like, obviously, you're going to talk about uncomfortable things in law school, but like,
yeah.
it didn't need to be talked about like this, like, at all. And I
And
was
that
like right, and I was like, I feel like this is all, like, very hypothetical, and so and I said again, like, I do not want to speak for anyone else, and I didn't even say that I've been talking with the class about this, like, I said, "I am saying this, I'm taking all the heat." And so she doesn't respond. She calls on my friends, my bestie Liz, she had my back, and she was like, "1, I agree with what Kaya said, I do think, like, it's confusing and, like, it's a lot for people of different religions, like, blah, blah, blah." And then she asked like a question or something. The professor here's my friend's question, like actual like tort question. And then she turns back to me and she was like, "Don't you dare tell me how to teach my class." And I was like, I literally keep in mind, this is my birthday. I thought like everything was good. Today was my supposed to be my day. So I'm sitting there getting yelled at,
Oh my god.
berated, and I'm like, what did I even say that was wrong? And it's funny because people in the back of the class didn't even hear what I said.
Yeah,
That's how soft spoken I am. I don't speak very loudly, whatever. But
yeah,
people went around the school and said that I yelled at her. Never once did I do that. Never once.
yeah,
It was crazy. But like she yelled at me
yeah,
for like minutes straight. And then she stopped and she was like, I actually hadn't thought about that. Thank you for that perspective.
yeah. Our classes were recorded. Was it recorded? I would have been like, "Pull it up."
Yeah, no. So I was just like, what the hell just happened?
Oh,
Right? Like I'm shell shocked. I like run in the bathroom and I start sobbing because I just got yelled at by a grown woman being a grown woman. I mean,
mhm.
that doesn't feel good.
Yeah, and then people are spreading rumors that you were screaming at your professor.
And I was being respectful. Like I wasn't like talking out of the side of my mouth. Like I just said, hey, personally, I feel like XYZ. So people like came in after me and was like, it's okay. I was like, what did I even say that was wrong? Like, I don't understand. I literally was like ostracized from my class after this. Like I had to leave the Discord because people were always arguing about me. Every time I walked in the room, it got silent because people were arguing about me and what I did. And so it's like I divided the class and it literally was insane. Like I kind of stopped going to that class too. I was really pushing my attendance. Me and my friend Liz were because like we were the targets of it and all for very respectfully saying our opinion. And, it was just like, well, this is a private university. Like I can say whatever I want was her vibe. And it was just so, so insane. And genuinely, like, people were so nasty to me. But the thing is, like, no one was saying it to my face. This woman shows up 30 minutes to an hour late to class all the time. Sometimes, like, she's just straight up in gym clothes. She has, like, genuinely horrible professor. And so they got her a card to thank her for her professionalism.
Uh,
Yeah, no, and they were like,
yeah.
"Oh, it's not about Kayev, it's not about Kayev." Girl, yes, it was.
So people were being really mean on purpose to you and doing that.
Huge argument was they were like, "Oh, yeah, we're gonna do this for
Did
every
you get
professor. We're
every
gonna do this
professor
for every
that
professor."
then?
I asked at the end of the year, "Yeah, so when you guys doing that, professionalism gift for everyone?" They didn't. They didn't do it for any other professor.
That is so insane. And that's what sucks about law school too. And I tell people all the time, I meet some of the best people and I meet some of the worst people. You really do. And bullying goes crazy there.
And it's like I went into it like, if I can't stand up for myself at my HBCU,
Yeah.
if you guys can't stand up for yourself at our HBCU, what are you gonna do when an old ass white man makes a really uncomfortable comments about your race or your gender or something else? And you're just gonna sit there and giggle? No, I'm not. I know I'm not. That was just like really hard.
Yeah.
I literally was
Yeah.
having mental breakdowns. Like I had to go to my partner John and be like, I'm not okay. I don't know what to do and I'm really scared right now. This, please. Like but and it ended up getting so bad that I had to talk to the professor because I was like, "Listen, like I
Yeah.
feel like I cannot go anywhere without someone doing something shady, like or like saying something, whatever. Like people were calling me unprofessional, like people were calling me disrespectful, but it was so hard and I ended up talking to the professor afterwards. I'm sorry, like I don't and I started crying because again, this was like really frustrating. And I was like, "I'm sorry, I
Yeah.
don't mean to be crying, but I want to talk about what happened that day. I'm sorry if you thought that I was being
Yeah.
disrespectful." And she was like, "What? Disrespectful? No, you rose your hand and
Yeah.
you spoke to me very calmly." And I was like, "Bitch, I knew. What? Why were people saying that I yelled at her?" I was like, "Listen, like my classmates are constantly talking about me." And she was like, "Been coming to class all that often. Is that why?" And I was like, "Honestly, kind of. I don't feel safe in this room anymore." And
Yeah.
so she ended up apologizing to me and saying, like, "You brought a new perspective that I hadn't thought about." And so I really do respect that. So she apologized to me, blah, blah, blah. Like, I'm sobbing again, whatever. And the next class, she addresses it. She says, "I've heard what's going on about what Kiev and Liz said to me." She tells a story about like how in law school she did something very similar. And she's like, I'm happy that Kiev stood up for herself. She was very respectful. She didn't do anything wrong. I reacted badly, I'll be honest. But like what she did wasn't wrong and you guys shouldn't treat it as if she did. And so I was like, vindication. Of course, there was drama, whatever, but like I left with some really great friends and I wouldn't trade
Yeah.
that for anything.
I'm really sorry that happened though. Like that's so frustrating and it's already overwhelming going to law school. You're a first gen, you're trying to navigate everything and then have people pile on you. I hate that.
Like it was so hard because it mentally took such a big toll on me. I honestly thought like I wasn't going to make it through. Like I thought I wasn't going to be able to stay in law school. My mental health was
Yeah.
shot by that point. I was having a very, very horrible time. But yeah, I guess to transition back to law school stuff.
What was your bar exam experience like?
Yeah, so I've taken the bar twice now. And the first time studying, I kind of lost myself. Like, I stopped
Mhm.
going outside. I stopped talking to my friends because I thought
Mhm.
that's what I needed to do. I thought that, like, I needed to lock in and, like, I can't do anything fun. I can't do anything ever. I can't take any
Mhm.
breaks. And that really killed me. Like,
Yeah.
and John said it as well. My partner, he was like, you kept having like mental breakdowns, and it
Mhm.
like obviously you weren't doing good, and
Mhm.
it really did suck. And the also as a man, he does stupid things. Tell me why. A month out before the July bar, I pass him my laptop to put on my desk. He puts it on an uneven surface. Like I had like a bottle or something. He puts it on top of the bottle. Whatever, why would that make sense? I don't
Why
know.
would you?
My laptop drops on the ground because that's how physics works and it breaks. My laptop broke a month before the July bar exam. And I was like,
And laptops are
what am I going to do?
expensive.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it's like, unfortunately, I do have to keep my Apple ecosystem too. So it's like, I'm not just going to get a random laptop. Sorry.
Yeah. No,
Um,
yeah.
capitalism, whatever. But so my laptop breaks. I'm pissed. Like I it's like that tire breaks. I have never yelled at a girl like this a day in my
Yeah.
life. I
That was you
and
at
mind
John.
you, like I don't yell. Like I really don't, but I was like, "Oh," because he wasn't taking it seriously cuz he was like, "Oh, Mac laptops are just so fragile." And I was like, "I've had this since 2019. Of course it's fragile." Like it's been through
So am I.
something. Right. And so I was like, ah. So I was really upset and like he tried to fix it and he fixed it for a little bit. Because the screen was still on, but the keyboard didn't work, and that's the big reason I fucking need it. Um and so I was like, I don't know what to do. And like the screen kept like flashing too. So I was like, I can't go into the exam. It stops working and I gotta start handwriting this
Writing.
shit. What
Yeah.
am I going to do? So I take it to the Apple store and like trade it in. Um, to which he says, "Oh, I wish you kept it because then I could have played around with this." Get out of my
John,
face!
stop. Yeah.
But anyway, so
It's
I
us
get a
yelling
new
at John in
laptop.
the audience.
No, literally, I'm just gonna anytime I get mad at him, I'm just gonna play that audio. um, but yeah, so I have to get a new laptop because like now I'm panicking about like the what ifs, like
Yeah.
because it happens to people and that sucks.
Yeah.
And uh, I just really didn't want to get a new laptop because like I was like I know after this I'm gonna have work laptops. I don't really need, that was just gonna be my sim playing laptop. Like that was it. But so that was really stressful. Month out from the bar exam, I was not doing good. I
Mhm.
ended up like going out with my friends like one single time, like and
Mhm.
hanging out with them at like jazz in the park or whatever. Really cool
Aw.
things DC has. But yeah, no, I just was not doing it. Like you could ask anyone who knows me, like I wasn't myself, like it was bad. And then taking the bar exam, I shared a hotel with my friend. We flew together. I took it and I felt like,
Where did you fly to?
oh, Washington. That's where I took the bar exam. Because we both got our post grad jobs in Washington.
Aw, you and your
Um,
friend?
yeah, I actually told her to apply for the same position and we both got the job. So that was
I love
nice.
that.
Yeah. And so I took the bar exam. I feel like my biggest faults was the MBEs because I
Mhm.
rushed through them. Because the entire summer I was panicking about running out of time on the MBEs. And
Yeah.
like I know myself, I've been speed reading for a very long time, but like when you do that you miss key phrases, you miss words, like you misread things. And so like my MBE, like MBE was probably the worst day because there was like I feel like a whole like 5 minutes where I just zoned out. Like I couldn't stop thinking about
Yeah.
like I was just thinking about literally anything else. And I was
Yeah.
like, what's going on? Like I need to lock in. And so we got our test results back in September. Washington was a lot quicker, and job was supposed to start in October, and like the office had set up this thing for swearing in like September 19th, something like that.
Mhm.
And I got the results, and and I'm thankful all my friends passed. And I text my friend, I say I didn't pass, and thankfully she did pass. Like I called her, we talked to her. Um, I was sobbing. Like
Yeah.
I was like I've never cried harder in my life. I called my mom, I cried. I called my dad, I cried. Like
Yeah.
I was having a hard time. Like I genuinely
Yeah.
could not wrap my brain around it. And it sucked because I was like my essay scores are good, but like my MBE like I
Yeah.
it just severely lacked. Um and and that summer I also like when I was studying, I had this issue when I was doing MBEs. I was getting really into my head and I'd be like,
Mhm.
if you get this question wrong, that means you're going to fail the bar exam. Like I
Mhm.
could not get that like overthinking out of my head. So then I would
Yeah.
stop doing MBEs so I didn't think like that.
Yeah.
And so Don't worry, I'm medicated now. Um,
Period.
but so this the second time around, and like, so I was obviously freaking out, like, um,
Mhm.
and I was like, what am I gonna do about my job? Oh my God, like, obviously my offer was conditional on me passing the bar exam. Like, I'm so embarrassed. I don't know what to do.
Yeah.
I I don't know what to do. But I emailed my job and I
Mhm.
said, "Hey, like unfortunately, I didn't pass the bar exam. I still really would love to work here. Like, is there anything I can do?" Um,
Mhm.
and they emailed me back immediately. Tried to call me, but I turned my phone on do not disturb.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
took a cry
I don't
nap.
blame you. Yeah.
And
As
so
one does.
yeah, and they thankfully they emailed me back, um, and they were like, blah blah blah. Here are your options, and like the managing attorney for my division, um, emailed, and we set up a call like on the Monday,
Mhm.
because we got the results on a Friday. Way to ruin a weekend,
A
right?
weekend. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
but and then we called, and he was like, "I understand." He literally is so amazing. Like, I really do
Mhm.
appreciate him. And he was like, "This is what we can do. Like, we can bring you on as an investigator." And he was like, "In all honesty, like, I was an investigator first before I went to law school. And even after I passed the bar, I went back to being an investigator for a little bit because I think it's just a really great experience." And he came from DC as well. So it's like, he
Aw. Yeah.
that was also really cool, and so he was like, "We will work through it, like, we will figure out something," like, and so,
Yeah.
they still had me go to, like, the first year attorney training and everything like that, and, like, that was really fun, but then, like, I kind of got in my head again because I was like,
Yeah.
"Obviously, no one has asked me about the bar, and, like, we're all here because we're the first year attorneys, but, like, I'm not going to be in court with them." And
Yeah.
so, like, I started to get really anxious again, and I was like, "Oh
Mhm.
my God," like, because I was really embarrassed, like, I didn't
Mhm.
know what to do with myself, like, I didn't
Yeah.
and, like, no one really talks about failing, so it's like,
Mm-mm.
who do I reach out to? Like, I'm
Yeah.
so happy for all my friends, and I don't wanna burden them with my sadness because,
Yeah.
they should be able to celebrate that they passed and, like,
Mhm.
not have to feel like, I'm bringing the mood down because like I was low key, like I couldn't help it, but I was. Um,
Yeah.
and so I was really, really nervous about like the end of training because I was like, they're all gonna go their way, and then they're not gonna see me very much anymore. And it was like they were giving us a tour around the office to show us like
Mhm.
where's everyone's desks and office, whatever. And so I'm sitting in the room and someone asked, they have like the attorneys that are like transferring their caseloads. Someone asks, wait, there's X number of them, but there's 10 of us. Like, how are the cases being divided up? Like, how does that make sense? And then the supervising attorney was like, "Oh, don't worry, I have it figured out," because obviously she knew I'm the
Mhm.
odd one out.
Mhm.
Um, and then for some reason, this girl just keeps going. And like, she asks her
Mhm.
like 3 times. And I'm like, she said she has it figured out. Like, oh my God. And so I'm like starting to feel like the tears well up in my eyes. And only my friend and my other friend know that I didn't pass in
Mhm.
this room. And so I'm just trying to keep calm. And then I end up they are about to go on the tour. I end up just like leaving, and I try to go find the investigative supervisor. And then I asked someone, I was like, "Oh, do you know where his office is?" And he was like, "Oh yeah," and then walks me towards it. And he is one of the attorneys that was moving up to felonies. He was like, "Oh, so you're gonna be an investigator?" And I was like, "Yeah." Unfortunately, I didn't pass the bar. And then I start like sobbing. And I was like, "I'm so
Mm,
sorry. I don't mean to be this sexy and cry." And I was like, "Why did I say that?" I literally like sprinted out. I
I
couldn't help
don't mean
myself.
to be this sexy and cry. That's so iconic.
Yeah, no, and I literally, like, sprinted out, I left, and, like, as soon as that happened, as soon like, I obviously, he told someone because like, a girl just sprinted out the office in tears, and the managing attorney texted me on my work phone, texted me on my personal cell, he emailed me on everything, and was like, "I just heard something really upsetting happen. Like, I'm here for you. Like, do you want to talk?" And I was like, "Wow," you know. So I really picked a really, really, really good place to work, whether I'm in accounting
Yeah.
right now or not.
Yeah. So you then sat for the February bar exam, right? What did you do
Hmm.
differently and how did that turn out for you?
Yeah, so differently because I was so close. I only didn't pass by 12 points the first time, and then Washington State retroactively lowered their score. So then I didn't technically pass by 6 points. Um
Oh gosh. Yeah.
But this time around, I really focused on my mental health. You know, I started making sure I was going to therapy. I got on a
Mhm.
very great medicine routine. And like,
Mhm.
I really worked hard to stop that overthinking. And so, but because I wasn't like so far off, I didn't go through all the lessons again. I would do like our school gave us Barbary, and so
Mhm.
I would do the the end of the lessons questions, and if I did poorly, then I would go back and watch the video and just like, and I knew my low areas were contracts, property, of course, because why would that ever be high? And surprisingly, and I think it's my crim law was low for me too, because like it's so hard when you've like actually done
Mhm.
the work. You're like, oh, well, this happened in court this one day, so this is true. But it's like you've got to like take your experience out of it, and that really sucks. And then like I would like overcorrect, and then I would be like prosecutor 3000, everyone jail now. So
Yeah.
it was like I had a hard time finding the balance.
Mhm.
um but yeah, so it's like I knew my weak areas, so I started off with that, contracts, property, crim, and I ended up getting U Worlds, and
Mhm.
using that. And again, I didn't focus much on essay stuff because my essays were fine. It was more just making sure I focused on time management for the essays, so I give myself time to like edit a little bit, like so I don't have such egregious typos.
Yeah.
So yeah, so that was like my main plan going into that was one, mentally I needed to be doing much better. And
Mhm.
two, really drill the MBEs. So that's why your lives were so fun because I was like, I wish like I could hear the way other people are talking this through too.
Yeah. You did get your results. Let's talk about it.
Yes.
How was that?
Yeah, so I knew I was getting them April 10th, tell you what day you're getting it. And then once the day after, they like released the public list of who passed. So I was really anxious,
Mhm.
going into that day, but I made sure I talked with my friend Shelby, and she was like, "We're going to have a plan for Friday, whether
Mhm.
like you get the results you want or not.
Mhm.
Like we will have set in stone plans, so no matter what, like your mind is
Mhm.
busy." And I was like, that makes sense. So it's like I had a really busy day that day on
Mhm.
Friday. I think the results came in like 6 in the morning or something. And I couldn't sleep at all. Like I ended up sleeping like in the living room with the bunnies because I literally just like
Aw.
couldn't sleep. And I kept checking my phone, kept checking my email, and unfortunately I did not pass. This time by 8 points. Um
So you
and
did
honestly it was
better.
really,
Yeah.
yeah. It was really crazy to see because I was like, I did so much better, but it's not reflecting in my overall score, and that was so frustrating. So I was
Yeah.
like, I wasn't as like I surprisingly didn't cry that day. Like I like genuinely like mentally I was like, wow, I'm really proud no matter what happened. Like I'm so proud of
Yeah.
how far I've come because
Yeah.
before like trigger warning, I was on the edge. Like I was like, this is it, guys. I don't know if I'll be making it to 26, right?
Mm,
Um,
I'm
but
sorry.
but and like it sucks because like I would put so much of my worth in the bar exam,
Yeah.
especially that first time around. But the second time, I didn't. Like I still lived my life and I didn't change myself to take
Yeah.
this exam.
Yeah.
And obviously not passing doesn't feel great. Like I'm not saying
Yeah.
like I was like, "Yay, I didn't pass." Right? Cuz why? But it was I think for me the biggest emotion was just confusion
Mhm.
because they give you your essay score and then they give you your percentage of how much better you did than other people on the MBE sections. And so
Mhm.
like technically you don't really know how good you did, but it's I feel like it's a good indicator. Like
Mhm.
before I think my contracts percentage was like 5%. Um very low. This time, my contracts percentage went up to 50%. Like,
That's a
so
huge
I
jump.
was right. So it's like I saw that I was doing so much better, specifically in the areas that I knew to focus on too.
Mm.
And then like my essay scores, like they were great. Like they were
Yeah.
so good, so much better than last time. And I was just like, I don't understand how
Mhm.
on paper, I did so much better, but my
Yeah.
overall score was still lower. Like, so I think that was like the hardest thing to like wrap my brain
Yeah.
around. But John, he kind of like helped explain like the math to me and like, the February bar exam is such a smaller number of people. And so the
Mhm.
scaling, the curve, whatever it is much harsher.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
But I'm proud of you for like you said you took it better this time.
yeah,
Are we
yeah.
retaking it together in July?
Mhm. I will be.
Yes. See, and that's
I
so
yeah.
great. I'm so proud of you. Like
Yeah, thank
you
you.
could give
Yeah,
up,
it's
but you're not gonna.
exactly.
You
And
know?
it's like it's hard. It really is. Like
Yeah.
and people don't talk about not passing, so it
Yeah.
sucks because no one knows like your friends that pass like won't know what you're going through. And
Yeah.
like I'm so ecstatic for all my friends that pass. Like I'm so
Yeah.
happy for them. And it's just like like getting over that feeling of feeling left behind is
Yeah.
is is really difficult.
Yeah, but you're doing great. Everyone knows I didn't pass, and I'm really grateful to do the podcast. And just hearing your story is going to change and help so many people, you know?
Mhm.
Because, like you said, a lot of people don't talk about this. A lot of people think it's embarrassing, you know? And at the end of the day, it's not because you know what? You still
Yeah.
have all of your degrees. You're still
Exactly.
capable. This doesn't take away from anything else you already completed, already did.
Mhm.
It's just another barrier that we have to break through, and we will.
Right. And that was also something that helped me is like I have the same degrees as everyone here. Like
Hmm.
we all have JDs.
Yeah.
I just, I have one more hurdle and that's it.
Yeah.
And it's just it's it's comforting to like have a community of people
Hmm.
who knows exactly what it feels like to not pass the bar exam.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of people who go to law school, they put their self-worth in their education. Like
Hmm.
I would panic if I started getting low B's or whatever, but in law school, it's much different than undergrad. So it's like
Yeah.
it was so much easier for me to get so much lower on exams and stuff there. And like that was a lot for me because that was never me. And so it's
Yeah.
like getting comfortable with I don't want to say like failure, I guess,
Yeah.
is because without me not passing in July, I don't know if I would have worked on like my mental health and if I started working, as a public defender, like that's a very taxing job and if I wasn't working
Yeah.
on my mental health, I don't know what I'd be up to, you know? So,
Yeah. No, but super, super proud. And I'm so excited that we got to meet through it. And, it's a weird feeling. At least when I got the, like, I didn't pass, it was just so many different, like, roller coaster of feelings and
yeah.
stuff. And, like, I did get, like, one negative, comment. And that was different. It was weird, And I was just like, okay. Yeah.
It was a man, wasn't it?
No, it was a woman. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
That's 10 times worse. What the heck?
Yes. Yeah. She was like, didn't all your friends and your boyfriend pass? And
Who
I'm like,
says
yeah.
something?
And I was like, yeah, they did. And I'm very proud of them,
And what does that
because
have to
like,
do with me?
yeah, like I can not do great and still root for others. And if you
Yeah.
can't, that's weird. That's on
Yeah,
you.
exactly. Like, I have never not rooted for my friends. Like, yeah, I was like
Yeah.
a walking gray cloud for a while, but like I was
Yeah.
always happy for my friends. Like, one
Yeah.
of my friends passed the February bar, and I'm so happy for her.
Yeah.
Like, and why wouldn't
Yeah.
I be?
Yeah. Like there's some people that came in the lives that passed and I'm like, hell yeah. Anytime anyone tells me, I'm like throwing it on my little
Yeah.
story and I'm like, congrats, like I want you to succeed. I want more people that look like us in law,
Right. And
Yeah.
again, we're almost there.
Yeah.
Just a few more points. And again, it's scaled, so you also have to remember, like, sometimes it isn't like you. It's like
Yeah.
obviously you'll
Yeah.
always have areas you need to work on and whatnot, but like you are being graded against everyone that's in the room as well. So it's like that, if that helps you not take things to heart, you've got to find a way to not be negative about yourself.
Here's the other thing is like, I know that no matter what, someone is walking out of here and not passing because it's just the way that the exam is. Like you said, it doesn't determine your worth. And I also studied and did it very unhealthy, didn't take days off, didn't,
Mhm.
didn't take care of my mental health enough, which is what I'm going to do differently this time. But I'm really super proud of you. Thank you for sharing that because it takes a lot. It's hard. It's hard to talk
Mhm.
about, but it's important to talk about because I don't want people to give up when they're so close to finishing this part. This is the last test we have to take. So, like, you got this. It's the last. And once it's over with, we move on and nobody cares. The amount of people that
Right.
came out of the woodworks that were, like, super successful attorneys and, like, super successful people that I know and, like, people I love, people I just met that were, like, hey, I had to take it a second time rooting for you. And it's the people who've also gone through that remember that feeling. And I love that they like reached out and let me know, like, hey, you're going to rock
Yeah.
it. And you will. And this is going to be a blimp that we're going to be like, that was lame.
Because it's the test sucks. I will say, I am a little nervous about it being the next
Oh,
gen
you
bar.
do?
Yeah,
I heard
because
it's shorter
Washington.
though.
Yeah, it's also there's more opportunity for you can get half points on multiple choice because they have questions that are like, um, choose which two or the best option or something like that, which is crazy, but more points,
I
I
don't love.
guess.
Listen, I could always bring it down to two. Something about me, it was always two of them.
Right, right. I was like, I know it's yes, but why? I feel my most nerve-wracking thing going into this, and like it is gonna. I like the way that I studied this time. I obviously think it was effective, but because it's a new format, I think I'm gonna have to go more square one.
Yeah.
Our thing about like studying and working is I had to like force myself to not learn things at work because
Yeah.
I was
Yeah.
especially because Washington is very like like very progressive with like the Constitution. So it's like, you can't do less than the Constitution, but you could do more or whatever. They do a lot more. Like, and so I had to like keep those rules out of my head. And like when
Mm-hmm.
people would like talk about it, I would just like zone out because I was like, I
I
can't
can't put this in here
conceptualize
right
that
now.
right now. Like
Yeah.
I need to know like whatever the hell Scalia was up to, like I can't.
Oh, that would be hard
Yeah.
having to like get that out of your brain. Well, what advice would you give someone who has to retake the exam?
I would say, first take care of yourself. Tell yourself that it's okay. Stop saying that you failed the bar. Say that you didn't pass. Be positive. Take your time. You don't need to rush back into it the next day. Take your time to process it. And then once you've processed it, whatever your state shows you, whether it's like scores or percentages, take a look at that. Like, I know it's like kind of triggering to look back at that document, but like, take a look at it, see where your weak points are, and adjust.
I just want to go ahead and thank you so much for coming on the podcast. I really appreciate it.
Thank you for having me. Love talking with you and love your lives.
That's it for today's episode. Again, I'm Stephanie Ponzanelli, and this is Legally Ponzanelli. Thank you so much for spending your time with us. A special thank you to our sponsors, Kaplan Bar Prep. Thank you for allowing us to give away free bar prep. Again, if you would like to use our discount code to save an extra $100 on whatever sale they currently have, use our code PASSWITHPONS. And we'd love to thank our sponsor, Belmonte, a brand rooted in the reminder to stay still, grounded, and present, even in the middle of big goals and busy seasons. They will also be linked to the link in our show notes. If you enjoyed this episode, I'd love for you to share it with a friend, a classmate, or a colleague, and post it on social media. It truly helps the show grow. And if you're not already following along, you can find me on TikTok at Legally Ponzanelli and Instagram at Legally Ponzanelli Podcast. If you have comments, questions, or suggestions for future guests, email me at legallyponzanelli@gmail.com. And if you're a law graduate who wants to share your story, I would love to hear from you. Until next time, stay grounded, stay present, and keep building your path.